And thank you everyone for carving out time to see our presentation. Hopefully we can find a lot of different pieces of our presentation that hopefully will generate a lot of thoughts and questions. So we absolutely encourage you to reach out to us as we'd like to have additional conversations around this, because for us in this space, this is a pretty big deal. So the first thing that I want to do, kind of as Jared sort of outlined there, is talk about Sage acquiring Criterion and kind of what this means. So a little bit for those that are not familiar with Criterion or what Criterion HCM was. Criterion HCM was a solution that DSD has actually had a relationship with now for going on about 8 years. So it was a purpose-built solution that was built from the ground up by developers to really give a tremendous amount of all-in-one functionality as it relates to HCM, also known as human capital management. So Criterion was built as a single unified database. It was a cloud solution and had a tremendous amount of functionality. The way that I like to really describe it to people, if I'm talking to someone, let's say in an elevator, it's a very robust platform that had enterprise level functionality at really a small business and mid-market price point. So some of the key components, again, it was a very mature enterprise level software. Obviously, it has full HR capabilities, payroll, time and attendance, recruiting. In addition to that, it has things like performance management, learning management, a whole host of employee self-service functionality. It has a mobile app that I think is second to none. It works for both Android as well as iOS. And it was really designed to have tremendous usable functionality as it relates to reporting and also different analytics and KPIs. And they're even adding some AI functionality into it now as well. So again, a product that DSD has been very, very aware of, and ultimately Sage decided to acquire Criterion. Obviously, DSD has had a relationship with Sage for many years, so having Sage and Criterion come into one and now be known as Sage HCM is something that we view as a total win for everyone in this space, and something we are just so excited to be able to continue to bring to our client base, but now obviously under the Sage umbrella. So again, Sage was looking for something that was a complete solution. They wanted something that was going to give, again, that modern, sleek aesthetic, again, cloud-based, and something that they could support directly. In addition to that, they wanted something that could also be scaled up and could really be improved upon year over year. One of the things that I can certainly say from experience that we really liked about Criterion was it was an ever-evolving solution. And they also took a lot of user feedback when they made different improvements or enhancements to the system that they would roll out on a quarterly basis to all of the user base. And we understand that Sage is going to continue that same thing. So again, you have this highly configurable product that's ever evolving and always getting better, adding new functionality, adding new features. It has a whole host of different integrations to a variety of different solutions, not just ERP, but others. And again, now it's got the backing of Sage as well. So again, we completely understood why Sage decided to do it, and really felt like it was something that was a tremendous decision on their part. And again, we're very excited to really see it. So again, what this means, again, fully supported now by Sage. They have put a tremendous amount of dollars behind this. So now you have that stability and, just again, a product that I think is second to none, especially in this space at this price point. Again, a very mature solution. So again, this is not something that's brand new to the marketplace. It's been around for a long time. It has all those elements that I outlined that you want in a human capital management solution. It really gives you a lot more than just payroll. The other nice thing about it is it has it's modular construction. So again, instead of having to purchase the entire product, you can pick and choose the components that you want to use. So again, for a lot of the Sage 100 users out there, if you are a huge fan of the Sage 100 payroll module, by having Sage HCM, you can really, if you'd like, continue to utilize your Sage 100 payroll module, and you can use the other modules and other functionality in Sage HCM. Because as my colleagues John and Lisa will talk about here, there is a DSD built interface to a Sage 100 payroll. So again, if you like your Sage 100 payroll module, you continue to use it, but now you can have a much more robust time and attendance, have that HR functionality, applicant tracking, recruiting, onboarding, benefits management, et cetera. It's just really kind of on and on and on. And we've had a large number of clients that have gone down that path with it. So again, having something that again allows for all of that access, getting real-time data, using analytics, and then having the connectability to your Sage 100 is pretty remarkable. Many other solutions in the marketplace don't have that capability. First and foremost, if you are using a payroll system that you like that's part of your ERP like Sage 100 payroll, most of the other HCMs in this marketplace or payroll solutions are going to require that you use their payroll. That is kind of one of their prerequisites. They will not, in many instances, allow you to just use other components without using their payroll. They demand that you have to move off of Sage 100's payroll module. Again, the other thing that's really neat too about Sage HCM is you can also have it locally hosted. So this is a cloud-based platform, but it can be locally hosted as well. And I know that for a lot of our Sage customers out there, they like having things on their own network. So again, that is some of the flexibility that you have with this platform. And we at DSD have had clients that needed to do that, to have Criterion, now called Sage HCM, locally hosted. So again, absolutely flexible to the nines, and then again, a product that connects to your Sage and is ever evolving. So a few different reasons why Sage 100 customers are really looking at something like this. The number one things that we're seeing, a lot of compliance, a lot of clients demands, a number of different things that they're responsible for the various labor markets, and a number of different things that the state and local municipalities are requiring, or federal requiring that they do. Again, being able to have a platform that helps you stay compliant and is aware of all the latest things that are out there that you must be aware of as a business. Again, it's invaluable to have a solution like this that can protect you from potentially having either liability issues in terms of legal exposure, or again, something with departments of labor and everything else. Another big piece of it, again, is getting rid of a lot of manual processes. When you have to do duplicate entry and you have disconnected systems, again, I don't have to tell you out there, that is just a treasure trove of potential negative items that could impact your business. So again, being able to get rid of those manual processes, get rid of duplicate entry, automate things, make things more efficient, is only going to be more and more beneficial to the business. And then obviously too, things like employee self-service. The modern employee is expecting some sort of access to a system like this. They want to be able to access personal info or benefits, being able to do onboarding, signing forms electronically, being able to see schedules, doing time tracking. There's so many different things that you're able to do in there, and then you have controls to determine how much access you grant to each department or every user. So again, it's not something that has to be universally given the same access to everyone out there. You really pick and choose how you want to set it up based upon your own parameters. And then finally, again, addressing those workforce visibility gaps. So making sure that everything is there, so you can have full insight into your overall performance of your workforce and also the costs associated therein. Okay, I am going to move through these because I am excited to get to my colleagues Lisa and John, but I just want to mention a few more things before I move on and pass it over to my colleagues. Some of the kind of what we would term as sort of basic features that you expect in a platform like this that Sage HCM has, and this is just a few of them, but these are some of the high level ones. A very robust employee self-service. So again, having a portal that employees can access that is going to be accessible through a mobile app or through, you know, a desktop, through a PC, tablet, et cetera, is huge. Having that connectability allows for, you know, companies, a lot of them will have things like corporate messaging. You can celebrate birthdays and anniversaries and so many different milestones and things within the business, all through that employee self-service. Obviously, robust HR system, that goes without saying. Employee management and everything therein that I've outlined, huge. Timekeeping, again, a robust time and attendance. We probably see so many of our Sage 100 customers, when they engage with us, one of the number one things that they have questions about that we're looking to solve for, a lot of times it's not even the HR functionality, it's really time and attendance. And Sage HCM has such a robust time and attendance and scheduling, and then again, having the integration to Sage 100 makes it an absolutely great tool, even if the only need that you have is just time and attendance. You can, again, since it's a modular product, you can always add some of the other functionality at a later date. And then obviously the GL file creation, as well as what we think to be the first-rate support that you get from the DSD HCM team, who would also implement the solution and train you as well on it. So then we get into some of the advanced features. So again, obviously, if you chose, again, I know we're obviously primarily talking with Sage 100 users out there. Some of you, many of you use the Sage 100 payroll module, but for those of you that don't, again, you have a very robust payroll module inside of Sage HCM that you can certainly use. And it is absolutely dynamic in the way that it works. And again, a lot of the automation that is built into that product. Coupling that with the ability to handle tax filing. So you have a few tax filing options with Sage HCM. And one of them is going to be using Atrix. I bring that up because a lot of Sage 100 users out there are very familiar with Atrix, and you have a connection that's already built into Sage HCM with Atrix. So if you already have an Atrix account, you don't have to pay the new one, and it can connect in with your Sage HCM. And then obviously having capabilities of being able to handle things like direct deposit and also things like recruiting, which really steps into that applicant tracking piece, that onboarding. These are just a handful of some of the advanced features. We'd love to be able to engage with each one of you to really go even more in detail and hopefully schedule a standalone demo so you could see how the Sage HCM solution could benefit you and your organization. So that said, I'm going to pass things over to my colleague, Lisa Stewart.
Thank you very much. Let me make sure I have the right screen up because this one never works real good for me. So let me look and see. Everybody see my criterion page?
Yep.
Great. A little background from me. I'm Lisa Stewart. I don't know how many old timers of you are out there, but I used to work for State of the Art when Sage was Mass 90 a long time ago as a product specialist. Then I went out into the Sage 100 consulting world, came back to DSD. I've also been a controller in the user world, and I came to DSD, and I have been a Criterion certified partner for about 4 years now, and now we're Sage HCM. We normally do 90 minutes of a demo, so this is going to be a quick, they've given me like 15, 20 minutes, so I'm going to do a quick overview for everybody, and if you have any more details or questions, we can go from there. As Abe specified, we do have modules, so you will notice that in here we have 4 different modules. We have the HR, the payroll, the recruiting, and the scheduling, and this is the self-service page. So like any other software that's in the cloud, you're going to land on a page. This is our landing page. This page is totally customizable. These are all widgets. The widgets can be there. They can be removed. You can tell the employees, you can set them up by security, what they can see. We have a feed system. They can use this as a time clock. They can punch in, they can punch out. You can see start time. You can request time off from here. This also looks very similar to the mobile app as well. You can, like I said, post feeds, you can see who's working on the system. You can look at attendance. You can look at any upcoming time offs as an employee. You can post external links, which is nice. We can have our time offs showing here so that we know what we have available to us. And then we have the standard ones if you want to change like your direct deposit or you want to change your W-4, or you want to set up something different, we actually have the capability of doing that. And then you can define as the client a workflow. So maybe you don't want the direct deposit to go through directly. You want it to be approved first, because I don't know about you guys, but everybody always messes up their ABA number, and they always mess up the account number. They get them crossed a lot. It's a great page here for resources. So you can put any kind of forms out here. Hey, you need a new W-4, go out to the resource page and download a W-4. If you need any kind of videos, maybe they need to do a safety video or a HIPAA video or sexual harassment, you can post all of those here on the company videos, which makes it really nice. This is where you can look at your onboarding, how far you've gone. We do onboarding, we do open enrollment, we do performance management. Abe mentioned that we also do learning management that we can actually connect with. You can see that this person's onboarding, where the progress is. You can also look at any team. So team to us means you're the supervisor and this is your team. So what makes it really nice is you can post team documents for your team. You can look at your timesheets for your team. So under your pay, you're going to do your team timesheets. Sorry, not pay. You can look at team timesheets. You can look at what employees on your team have time off. You can look at the timesheets, which makes it really nice, so you know where your employees punched in and when they're punched out. You can look and see what time they punched in and what punched out. We also offer, or Sage HCM also offers geofencing. So if you're using an app or you're using a kiosk or a tablet or anything like that, they can punch in and you can drill down to where they're actually punching. So you can allow the bad punch to come through and it will turn red, and then you can drill down on it when you look at their timesheet and say, whoa, you were at Starbucks down the street when you guys punched in. We allowed it, but we're not going to let it happen. So that makes it really nice for everybody. We actually do job costing. So here on our timesheet, this is a timesheet. You can have a cost code. You can have, we call them projects in Sage HCM. You can have a project, you can have a cost code, and then that information can be downloaded to a file along with the timesheets and then imported in to through Visual Integrator to either direct job costing, or you can import it into payroll if you're not going to use Criterion's payroll. We also have the HR module. So this is where you're going to set up your employees. You can have a dashboard. Everybody can have their own dashboard based on whatever their position is in the company. You can track onboarding. Again, this is where I can see where my employees are in onboarding. If you're a supervisor, you won't have access to all of this. If you're not a supervisor, you do not have access to team information. That is just as a supervisor. Going through employees, to add an employee, it's pretty simple. You click on the add button and then it walks you through a little tutorial. We do have multiple companies, so you can actually rehire an employee. You can transfer an employee from one company to another if you have that. We call them employers. There is a lot of custom fields. I'm going to change my employer to DSD. A lot of positions or a lot of fields in the box. Creating tabs is very simple. You do not need a programmer to do this. You can hide fields and you can rename fields, which makes it very easy as well. If you're using the payroll, if you're using Sage HCM's payroll module, you can request the the pay stub. So you can request looking at pay stubs. You can take the current one, or you can request history. Again, we talked about time off, doing time off plans. So I can request time off here. You can specify what type of time offs they can request. So this one is just paid time off and sick. You can have jury duty. You can have bereavement. You can have other ones that you do, float day, whatever it is that you want. Time offs also can work off of a workflow. So you can request a time off. It can flow to the supervisor. The supervisor can then approve it or not approve it, and then pass it on to HR or payroll, however you guys want to make that flow. The next one that I'm going to take a look at, that we can take a look at module wise, would be our scheduling module. So we have some basic scheduling. You can define shifts. So we have a shift, full-time shift. I have a part-time shift. I can then go in and assign my employees to it. Let me change my company again. So this is my full-time shift. You'll look, I have an 8 to 5 and I have a 3 to 11. So you can see who's assigned to those. I prefer, we have this new little feature that puts it in like a calendar. To me, I like that. You can click on it. You can add a different shift to this one. I can override it and I can delete it if this employee has called out. I can view by employee. So if your employee calls and says, hey, what's my shift? You can take a look at it here. You will create your shifts, you publish them, and then everybody can see them, all employees, and then you can unpublish them if you need to make any kind of changes. It works great under the employee self-service, under your team availability and team attendance. I can see who's scheduled and who's not, which makes it really nice. My next module we'll take a look at is recruiting, or a lot of other systems called applicant tracking. You can go in and create your jobs, job requisitions, however you want. You put in a hiring manager. You put in a recruiter. We like this module a lot because you get to see everything in one place. I can pick the candidates that are up for this position. Which makes it really nice is when they apply, like on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or whatever, even on your own in-house boards, whatever you're setting up, everything will come through. So their resume will come through. There, you can have applicant questions that you can ask. You know, are they required to have a visa or whatever you want to put on it? Will you relocate? Are you age of 18? You can have all those in here, which is considered applicant questions. All of that will flow through with the actual information that they entered. The nice thing about this too as well is I can schedule interviews in here. I can tell the system what type it is. It'll save it. And then if you have another interviewer, they can actually see the notes from the previous one. So it makes it kind of nice. So you'll know what questions have been asked, what questions, you know, still are pending, or any notes that the other interviewers might have asked. Their cover letters would come through, talent profile would come through on what it is based on it, any employment history, demographics. And then once you get all of this information in here, what's kind of cool is you can email directly from here. So you can email a offer letter if you wanted to. You can do any kind of pre-boarding. So if you had pre-boarding forms that you wanted filled out, you could add that in here. And everything stays in here, so you don't have to go back looking through your Outlook and say, oh, wow, when did I email this? What was this employee's name? It all stays right in here. It doesn't get deleted, so you can always go back on it and take a look. So if you hire, let's say you don't hire an employee for this time, but you keep them on board, you can go back and review their information and then maybe reach out to them. Once you get all of this in, we do have the option to do a background report. Sage HCM, sorry, I almost said Criterion. Sage HCM does work with E-Verify. So you can actually go out there and submit and they'll bring it back. They'll view the background report. You can hire from here. You can create offer letters. And then again, we can talk about pre-boarding. If you hire this candidate, everything flows through into the HR system. So you don't have to redo it. You would just put in anything that is, that wasn't captured at the time of the interview. Under the HR, we'll go back through that real quick. What's captured is all the information. We do like to keep things all in one place here inside of Criterion, Sage HCM. So we do have different documents that they can have. These are little folders that are created out of the box. You can actually rename these or create your own, and it will keep track of everything. Anything that you want to upload can be kept in here. You can also track certificates. You can track licenses. You can report off of them, so we can have expiration dates. So you could say if a CPR certification is required and it's getting ready to expire, you can actually have a report that will tell you what is expiring. what needs to be done, what needs to be updated on these employees, and then have it sent out. The system does come with quite a few reports. So these are all out of the box reports. If you're Sage 100 consultants and you ever had to do payroll, you know that the employee birthday is always a big one. The employee anniversary is always a big report that you have to create, like in Crystal Reports. These are already included. It does come with an organization chart as well. So you can create an organization chart based on your supervisor or manager. Those are the two positions that are up above. I'm going to go quickly a little bit through the payroll module itself. So it's pretty simple. Like I said, my background is in Sage 100 payroll. So this is pretty simple. In payroll, you will create a batch. And then from the timesheets that were on the employee self-service one, you export those timesheets once they've been approved, and then you go in and you import them. So you don't have to do any rekeying. It's already done for you. It's based on your schedule. We do 1099s. If you want to track 1099s in here, you can put that they are exempt and it won't calculate anything. We do reimbursements as well. That does not calculate tax. We do bonuses. Abe did mention that we do have a tax system. So Sage HCM has a built-in tax system, a tax filing, which is kind of nice, because what will happen is when you set up an employee in HR and you put in their zip code, you will click on what's called the geo code, and it automatically will link you to a geo code. Even if you forget to maybe set up a local code or something, it'll catch it. Because of that geo code, it'll go out there on that tax filing system that we have, and it will catch any local taxes that you did not think of to set up. So when I do my payroll and I set up something, it would be as simple as going in here to click on import, and then from load data, you would load timesheets. We do commissions and we do expense reports too. So your employees can upload their expense reports each week, bi-weekly, each month, however you pay on that. And then you can also do commissions as well. So you would click on load timesheets. Once that's done, it would load it in here. This would all populate. You click your calculate button, and then from there, you're going to go to next. And from the next screen, I picked the wrong. From the next screen, I'm going to use John's batch because he's going to do it next. From the next screen, this is what it looks like populated. This is where it takes you on what's approved. Now, two different ways you can handle this. Abe talked about we do integrate with Atrix. So you could just approve this and move on, or you could take this report and you could go and log into your sites, go to your federal, make your tax deposits, do whatever you need to do. However you're doing it now, you can still do it that way. Once the payroll is approved, you would then go in here and you would send off your ACH. So you can generate ACH. Sage HCM does work two different ways for ACH. You can download and generate an ACH file. You can log into your bank. You can upload that ACH file, and then it goes from there. We also, if you don't have the opportunity to do that, we do work with a third party called CodaPay. You would actually generate your ACH. It gets sent to CodaPay, much like your Atrix is, and then they will actually submit it to the bank and then send out the direct deposits from their system. You don't have to do it manually, it's automatically done. Once you approve it, then the next thing would be the tax fund, which we just talked about. And then the last part of it is the general ledger. So if you are using Sage HCM as your payroll system, we create a GL file. And then that GL file can then either be downloaded and you can import it in, or it can be done automatically through a transmission with our integration. John and I have worked pretty close together to try and think of everything that we could to make it simple so that you do not have to do too much, that it automatically does it itself or it syncs. And so that's where we're at now. I'm going to turn it over to John, and he's going to show you how that integration works. All yours, John.
Yeah, so John's having a little bit of internet issues right now. So while we wait for him to try and get back up, I figured we can answer some questions that have been asked so far. So the first one is, does Sage HCM work with job cuts?
All right, I turn my microphone on, I'm talking. Yes, it does. We do allow for a field called, we call them projects instead of a job. And then we have what's called tasks instead of cost codes. So yes, it does.
Okay, great. Another one is, does Sage HCM allow for custom fields?
Yes, it does. It allows for custom fields and custom tabs. So you can do both. Very easy. You don't need a programmer to set it up, and they're all reportable.
Okay, thank you. Another one we have is more functionality available beyond the existing integrations? And I assume this one's for John, and since he's not here, if someone else can jump in. If not, I can speak a little bit to it.
Yeah, yes, we are, like I said, we are constantly working on this so that we can actually make it so that we do have more functionality. These are the first couple of integrations that we've come out with. And you're right, John can speak to more of that.
Oh, great. Yeah, so it seems like we're still waiting on him. So gonna give another minute for anyone to submit some questions and give him some time to get back in here.
And Jared, if I can jump in as well. So I think Lisa did a good job of talking about, you know, again, when the question was asked about, you know, being able to have additional functionality, you know, around the system and around integration piece of it. One thing I'll talk about, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit before, but while we have a moment, one thing that's really unique about Sage HCM, formerly called Criterion, of course, was that I mentioned the feedback coming directly from the users. And so there's a feature request portal inside of the solution that allows for you, if you were utilizing this platform, to be able to put feature requests in the solution to request those additional bits of functionality. So for example, and Lisa even knows this because she and our team will sometimes make requests as well, but inside the solution, you can go into that portal and you can say, hey, I wish the solution could do X. It could be whatever capabilities or functionality that you want. And it can be something you know, that you've encountered where you go, boy, I wish the platform had this, and you know, it'd be nice if they could add this. We've all been there. And the neat thing about it is they have a team that monitors those requests. So when I've had clients before say, okay, so you put it in there, what happens? You know, you hear from somebody in a year, or you know, just flies off in cyberspace for, you know, for centuries. No, actually, they respond back to you, and typically pretty quickly. And when they respond back, they'll normally say, hey, thank you for making this request. This has been forwarded on to our internal scoping and development team. And one of the neat things about Sage HCM that they did that's just been remarkable is a lot of times they will see those requests. Other users have made similar requests because, again, you know, a lot of similar verticals, a lot of similar industries. And so they'll say, hey, we've had other users that have made similar requests. We're excited to let you know that this is actually on our roadmap and will be rolled out, you know, in the next quarter. And so what they do a lot of times is they'll roll those updates in. They do a quarterly webinar where they talk about all the new enhancements to the software, because they're, again, they truly mean what they say when it's an ever evolving, ever improving platform. And then they'll roll out those updates for all the users. So no additional cost is there. They just roll it out for those users, for everybody to be able to take advantage of those enhancements. So that's pretty remarkable. And then one other thing I'll say really quickly, it sounds like we might be having John coming back in. But one other thing that we do get, people say, well, what if it's a very, you know, a unique request? They will also scope it if you do have a unique request that's not really applicable to anyone other than your organization. And in those instances, when it's something that's just kind of a one-off, they'll actually connect with DSD as well as end user, scope it, and then talk about potential, how many hours it might take for the developers to build it. So they're still willing to build it, even in a one-off scenario, which again, most big publishers out there won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. So that's really, again, something where they truly put their money where their mouth is when it comes to listening to the end user to evolve and improve upon the product. So Jared, I'll pass it back to you, but I just wanted to mention that really quickly.
Yeah, still waiting on John, but we have one last question, and it is does or will it integrate with benefits and 401k?
When you ask if it's benefits in 401k, are we talking about sending files back and forth to 401k carriers? If you are, yes.
No.
Yeah, and to elaborate on that one too, what Lisa's talking about, most of your benefit carriers out there are going to allow for some sort of electronic files, typically known as EDI files. And so as long as the carrier allows for EDI files, and this goes also for financial management systems as well. So if you have 401k plan managers, Fidelity, Wells Fargo Advisors, whoever, John Hancock, as long as they allow for those connections, then they absolutely can integrate into Sage HCM. And we have a lot of clients that do so. Now, one thing to be aware of as we talk about EDI files, just keep in mind, especially as it relates to some of the healthcare providers, carriers rather, a lot of them will have certain minimum restrictions as far as how many employees they will allow. So sometimes they'll say, hey, if you have less than 100 employees, they don't allow for an EDI file. But for the most part, a lot of the carriers out there are pretty flexible with that. But yes, we can connect to them and we can integrate to them as well.
Okay, great.
Jared,
We got another question, and yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you want to bring up John's slides, we can talk through it.
Oh yeah, let's do that. We do have one more question while I'm pulling this up. It is, how versatile is this for union style payroll that requires multiple pay structures?
That's a good one. Lisa, I'll let you take that one. I know exactly what you're going to say.
So we do have union payrolls. We do have certified payrolls. We do have rate tables that you can set up for it. It's pretty versatile. We even go as far as creating files for your certified reports for LCP Tracker and things like that. So it is pretty flexible. I'm in California, so we work with a lot of unions, a lot of construction companies that have that. So it is pretty versatile about setting it up. You can even use your rate tables for other things. It doesn't necessarily have to be union. If you have rate tables for others, we do premium rates as well, if you have shift premiums and things like that. So that makes it nice too. Did that answer the question?
I hope so. Also, while I'm getting this set up, can you guys see, which screen can you see? Is it full screen or is it the next slide one?
The next slide.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second.
By the way, these are fantastic questions. I will just tell you guys, as someone that does a lot of webinars, we love getting really good questions. So please continue to ask those, because that really, obviously, when you're talking about human capital management stuff and payroll, time and attendance, all these things, they can obviously be a little bit dry. For Lisa and I, we've been in this space for a long time, so we know it can be maybe not the most exciting material, but getting great questions like this is something for us that we just love. And again, hopefully, if nothing else, we're building a strong sense of what this platform can do. Because as Lisa was talking about in the 15 or 20 minutes that she was showing this, we're barely scratching the surface on everything that this platform can do. And even when John hopefully is able to get back in here, even him just going over the integration piece of it, again, there's a lot more beneath the surface that we're able to do on that one. But at least we can continue to kind of go through some of this information with you right now. So I guess Lisa, if you want to go through these slides.
Sure. So we have two different integrations with the Sage. So we have the payroll and the employee integration. So we use a REST API connection. There's employee constant data and deductions, which go back and forth. So you would set your employee up in Sage HCM. You click a button and then it would populate, if you're going to use Sage 100 payroll, it would then populate the employee constant data and the deductions, update your employee maintenance. There's a synchronization utility. So if you wanted to sync back and forth, if you set it up in one and you didn't set it up in the other, you can sync both ways. There's the tax calculation. So when John and I talked about this, when you bring it over, sometimes the tax calculation gets adjusted a little bit weird. Did a recalculation so that everything would be coming over correct. He is working on an integration, an automatic integration into time track download. So that's that. Do you want to switch to the next one?
Yep.
So then we have the GL integration. So if you're going to use Criterion's payroll, then what we have is we have this, that all that goes over is the general journal entry. So what happens, and it does it by the batch file. So what would happen is it would, when you click when I showed you the little thing with the GL, when I click download, you would actually click a button that says transmit. It then goes into journal entry. You can take a look at it, make sure it looks good. If it doesn't look good, you can delete it and then you can re-import it again after making any corrections. Once it looks good, you update it and it becomes live in Sage 100. I think that's all his slides. So unfortunately, I don't have I can't show you what it looks like, but it's basically two little buttons. I believe the GL journal entry is underneath the utilities menu. And the other one is on the employee maintenance menu where you can click the Criterion button. They're going to rename it to Sage HCM.
Awesome. Yeah, and just for everybody, as we send out this recording, since we're kind of losing John, it looks like we may not get him back. I'll have him record his demo, and I'll make sure to include that in case you missed it, as its own little separate video. So if you want to go back and watch that on your own time, you'll be able to do so. That being said, we do have another question. It is, does it allow for running payroll and integration with Sage for multiple companies?
Yes, they call them employers in Sage HCM, but yes, you can do multiple, and actually the integration asks you for the company code.
Very cool. All right, I'll leave it running for a couple more minutes. Like I said, I'll get with John after this and we'll record, his demo and include that in the follow-up email so you guys can see it. Sorry, can't always predict, internet issues. So thanks for bearing with us, and we'll leave it open for a couple more minutes just to see if questions roll through. But if not, and we don't get John back, just want to say thank you guys for joining and giving us a chunk of your day. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, and one other thing I'll say, Jared, too, as we kind of wait for this final wrap up. So, for Lisa and I, we have been having these conversations with Sage 100 users for quite a while. And, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, I like to draw upon, kind of our real world experiences, conversations that we've had with maybe some of you out there, or, for a lot of others that may not be on this call today. The functionality that you gain in this system is unlike anything we've seen before. Like Lisa, I go back to the days of Sage. I worked at Sage prior to coming to DSD. And, the Sage, really the flagship solution for them for a long time was called Sage HRMS. And it's a product that's still out there. We still sell it. And it's still, a reliable platform. But, to be totally honest, the look, just going by the aesthetic alone, between Sage HRMS and Sage HCM is night and day. And it really allows for, so much more functionality, but also just the user interface, the ease of use is tremendous. And again, one of the areas that we really love about this platform is the fact that you can, again, pick and choose those components that are most critical to you. I know I sound like a broken record saying it, but for so many of you Sage 100 users, that time and attendance piece, we could probably do a webinar alone on all that functionality, those capabilities, how you're going to capture time, being able to tie that time to jobs, being able, obviously, again, being able to use a number of different methods to do reporting, having good analytics and KPIs. There's so much that's there. So I would definitely encourage for many of you, because I know for some of you, obviously the HR functionality, you're looking at it probably going, wow, this is really neat. It could be great for my company to have, but maybe it's more of a, I like to say a like to have. On the time and attendance piece, that's the area that seems to be the I must have, I need to solve for, because I'm using an older, dated, antiquated time and attendance platform. So I would highly encourage you, as we wrap this webinar up today, to really think about that and certainly reach out so that we could obviously assist in any way, shape, or form on any of these needs that you might have. But again, that time and attendance, I know, we kind of gloss over it quickly because there was so much for Lisa to try to show. Like she said, normally it'd be 90 minutes, and to do it all in 15 or so is just not really possible to show that. But I just want to mention that because that's an area that has just based upon feedback, that is where a lot of people feel like they need assistance and kind of where the rubber meets the road. So that said, Jared, I'll turn it back over to you. I don't know if there are any other final questions, but I just wanted to kind of drive that point home.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. There are a couple more questions. So again, keep them rolling if you guys want. We have a lot of time here. So the next question is there a service that will transmit tax payments for end users?
The Atrix will.
Yep.
Awesome. Then we have another one. If there are multiple unions involved, does this offer the ability to track ATO time?
Yes. We do allow for multiple unions and to be multiple unions at one time.
Correct.